friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Today I have a super exciting video for you guys. I'm doing a special effects look based on the Hawaiian goddess Pele. So this one is very special to me because I am Native Hawaiian and I love special effects makeup. So I figured what a cool way to try and incorporate some of my culture into here and share that with you guys. So without further ado, we're just gonna hop right in because I'm super excited to start. All right, you guys, buckle up. This is gonna be a wild one. Just so you know, you guys, I will at some point have to use my big mirror. So just, if you see this thing, black thing in the corner, that's what that is. First, I want to show you guys the props that we'll be using today. I know I look like the Statue of Liberty kind of right now, but I'll show you guys my headband. I'm gonna be wearing it throughout the tutorial because I need to put my hair back anyway, but I just made this out of hot glue and some loose glitter, and then I just like roughly did some gold like metallic paint. I wanted it to look like marbly on there, not like completely gold, so I didn't want to spray paint it. And I'm just going to be using this like throughout my tutorial because I need to pull my hair back. Anyway, so how I made this is I just put on baking paper the little spikes that you guys see and then put glitter on it. If you guys are going to do this and then I hot glued them onto my headband, I definitely recommend just make the spikes all together like in a line so that they're all even. You can see height differences, thickness differences, and then afterwards place them onto your headband. Don't try to put your headband down first and then glue from there. It's just gonna be messy and they won't be even. So the next thing that I have for you guys today is these butterfly wings that I just made them out of cardboard paper. So I just freehanded how I wanted the butterfly to look, and then just like, this thing was probably the most like tedious, I guess, but it's super easy. It's just tedious. So the first thing I did is I just drew them, and then I went over with gold metallic marker and then red paint, and I also put glitter on the paint. I let everything dry, and then I glued on gold flakes to them. So yeah, that's it. These were really easy. They're just very tedious. They take a long time, and gold flakes are quite delicate, so they can be a little bit frustrating to work with. The next thing I have for you guys is this prosthetic that I made with this styrofoam head. So I just placed it down and I made it with latex paste. So that's made with liquid latex and flour. So normally how I make my latex paste is I would put my latex in and then mix in the flour from there so that it doesn't get too clumpy and goopy, because it can get clumpy very fast, especially if you add too much flour. But this time I wanted that like clumpy, ruggedy look for the rocks. So I actually added my flour first, and then I added slowly latex until I got the texture that I wanted, because I did want it to be quite clumpy and like rock-ish. So I hope that you guys can see the texture on here. And then once it was like, I don't know, maybe like 25% dry, I went in with my spatula and I just created these little things where we're gonna have the lava roll down on there. So I do have another step for this that I will be showing you guys in the tutorial. It's just that I wanted it to dry and I wanted to fit it to my face beforehand because it will like flex, you know, it will get I know I'm so muffled, but it will like curve a little bit. So there's a few more things that I have to add, but you guys are gonna see where that is. And the first thing that we're gonna start with is our forehead and our face paints. Okay guys, so I have already primed my skin with my professionals. You can also use like a barrier spray or anything to protect your skin. Definitely if you don't have anything, at least throw on a layer of moisturizer, especially when working with such pigmented face paints because they will stain. I have my Mayron paints today that I'm going to be using. This is in the shade Beach Berry, this red, and then this gold is in Brilliant Dore. I think that's Brilliant Dore? Anyway, I want to see where this goes. I know I definitely want an outer layer of red, so we're going to start from there, but I don't know if I want it to fade into white or if I would like it to fade into gold, so we're just going to see, honestly. And I'm just taking my sponge. I might switch to a brush depending on the pigment that I'm going to get from this. I think it might be okay. I think it might be fine. But I'm just going to go like in my outer corners where my contour would be. Yeah, I think this is good. I'm also going to go later into the hairline with some red, but we are just going to, for now, start here. I'm just going to bring this down. My whole entire bottom half is going to be covered up, so I'm not going to worry so much about there, but I am going to put, let's see, I'm going to try for gold. I'll try. This is a really good sponge also to be using, you guys. This side. When you use face paints, it's really important, depending on your look, what texture your sponge has. You know how some are like a little bit stiffer than others? This is fairly soft, but it doesn't absorb a lot of product, which is really great. There we go. I don't want to put like too much on my lids because of the moisture on my lids. So I'm going to use eyeshadow primarily for that, but we're going to see. I'm just using one of my Mayron brushes. Okay. I think this is good. I think I like the gold. Yeah, I like the gold. I like the gold. Let's bring it up though. Blending that in, give it a nice fade. And this is like basically a contour highlight type deal. Okay, now you guys, we're gonna be going in with my Morphe James Charles palette, and I'm just going to be going in with a brush, and I'm basically going to be mixing these two colors, this red and this brown here. So you guys, I want to tell you a little bit about my inspiration for this look, which I'm rather excited about because I never in my life have had like a really strong connection to my culture, but recently I have been feeling it a little bit. And this look, I'm Native Hawaiian on my father's side. So this look was inspired by one of the Polynesian goddesses named Pele, and she is she's a badass. So she is the goddess of volcanoes and lava and fire and destruction, but she also brings forth life because she and her sister have this little feud going on, and her sister is the goddess of the sea. So So her sister and Pele, when they fight and they argue, Pele will fight with lava and her sister will fight with water. And so what happens when that steam comes in like Hawaiian culture, when the lava and the water mix, that's Pele and her sister arguing, but it adds new land to, I say, but I'm just saying because it's like Hawaiian culture. So that adds new land and new life. This part doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to add so much to it, but this is just for a little bit of texture, you know, and differentiation. Okay. Now, you guys, I'm just going to take a Q-tip and I'm basically going to take off what's on my lid. I'm going to keep what is in my crease though, because my like inner corner, you know, not my crease. But I'm going to go on my lid and I'm just going to take off some of this excess paint because I'm going to be going over it with eyeshadow and I don't want it to be too wet, let's say. And okay, now you guys, now actually one more step for face paint. I'm going to be going in with black and I'm going to be using the same sponge that I used with my red because it's okay if it's like a little bit red in there. And I'm just going to be going right over my ears. Yeah, you can't even see. This is great. So I'm going to be going right over my ears and on the side of my face like that. Again, it doesn't have to be absolutely crazy. Obviously, it's definitely not pretty or anything because we are just going to be covering this area. So this will look just fine. It's just like a base, you know? And also, by the way, you guys, you will have black in your ears for days. Just so you know, anytime you black out your ears like this, you will. That it just goes that way. It will happen that way. It's fine if it gets like a little bit because it's going to be covered like that, you know, so you can only see that much anyway. So it's going to be totally good, totally fine. See, I got this also, I like cleaned this thing a little bit. There's so much black face paint on here. So much. Okay. Okay, now I'm just gonna take a brush and I'm gonna go in where I missed any crevices in my ears, and this will feel really weird, and you really will have this in your ears for a very long time. If you think you've done a good enough job cleaning your ears, I promise you there's more. There is more. I think that every single time I do my ears with any face paint, I try to avoid it, but for some looks you just can't. So now, you guys, this is going to be the most tedious. I know I said the butterfly wings were tedious, but this is going to be very tedious. And so you have 2 options with this, 3 options. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna be using some hot glue to make the streams of lava smooth, okay? You don't have to do this. You can skip this step. It is not a big deal at all. You don't wanna be going at your face with a hot glue gun, of course, obviously. So I am just going to like curve it like this, and then I'm going to do the hot glue like that. You know, you guys, don't go putting this on first and then putting on the hot glue. It's not worth it. I just wanted to wait and show you guys because I think it's important to not do that. While we are waiting, guys, for our hot glue to heat up, our hot glue gun, I'm just taking the same Morphe palette, the same red, and I'm going over, not only to set, but just to like keep that vibrance in there. And it also helps blend. So I'm just adding some of that red over the red that I already have. You can skip this step if you want to. It's not a big deal. Totally up to you. And this part, again, don't worry because it's going to be all covered up. But I did want that really, really deep red. So totally up to you guys. How you wanna play that. Okay, I think that our glue gun is ready. You do want it to be very hot for this, so let me just test a little bit. And I'm trying really hard to have you guys see this. Right here. Okay, so you know, I had glitter glue in here before that was red from my crown, and I didn't think that I would like it, but I like it. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna switch this out for glitter glue. Hopefully you guys can see all of this. I really hope. So this is what we have so far on here. We got those nice lava streams coming down. I like the glitter. I like the glitter glue. It doesn't look, it's not gonna look like sparkly, you know? It doesn't. I was afraid it was gonna look like sparkly. I don't want it to. I mean, obviously it does have some shimmer to it, but we're gonna add more coloring anyway. It's really just for the smoothness that the lava streams would have compared to the rocks, you know? Because obviously the rocks are going to be more, come on. This is like the oldest, cheapest glue gun ever. Okay. So this is what we got so far, and as you guys can see, it didn't look like much before, but now it's actually starting to get the shape, and you guys can kind of see where like the lava form is going to come from. So I am really excited. I think this is going to be a really cool look. The coloring I am going to do after I apply my prosthetic, although this is looking pretty good. Now I added another line right here,
because I thought it looked a little bit empty there, but I am so stoked to get this thing on. I'm really excited. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. And with the butterflies, it's gonna be cool. You know, I thought I was gonna go for a black, but I don't wanna go for a black now. I think that's gonna be too dark. I think we're gonna use like some oranges, maybe a yellow, and I'm gonna do like a really, really glam eye. So I'm just putting on my brow. I'm using my Precisely My Brow as always, but this is just for like a little bit of definition, you know. I'm going obviously a little bit darker than I normally would on my brows because I do have the underlying red face paint under there, which is totally fine, totally good. Because this needs like a bold eyebrow to be seen and not taken over, you know? So it looks like I actually have eyebrows. If you go too light, they will not like fade out, but they're not going to be very defined at all. So I still do want like a little tiny bit of dimension and drama. So I'm gonna mix these three. And I'm mixing all of these, you guys, on just like a clean, not clean anymore because this side, but I'm just mixing them on one of my palettes. And I'm going in with this brown. I was gonna do a black, like I said, but I don't want to do black anymore. I think I just want to do a gold. And now I do like this like brown that's just cutting up the corner, you know. I don't know, do I want to do a cut crease? Maybe I'll do a cut crease. I think I will do a cut crease. I will be using a white concealer. You obviously don't have to use a white concealer. And I'm going to be using my Stila. This is Pixie Dust, I think the name is of this. And it is like this gorgeous pigment. So I'm pretty excited for that. Let's cut this. I actually want to cut it more. I would like to cut it a little bit further in to where my inner corner is. And I'm gonna be adding that a little bit to my palette here, just like 2 drops. And I'm going to be mixing my pigment with that liquid, just a tiny little bit. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount, just to get a little bit more kazam, you know? Like just to get a little bit more of that nice pigment. Hey guys, now I'm just gonna be throwing on my black Kat Von D eyeliner. I'm just gonna do like a really, really dramatic wing on here, like really dramatic. Again, it doesn't have to be crazy neat. And I'm gonna throw on my lashes. We're going really, really dramatic today, you guys. I'm just gonna do that off camera because it's just like everyone puts on their lashes differently. So I'll be right back. Okay, lashes are on. Now it is time for the fun part and where I switch to my little voiceover. So I am gonna be using Prosade, which is which is an impossible to open adhesive. And I'm gonna be putting this on my palette. What? That's a lot. Oops, I spilt it. But that's okay. I've already primed my skin, protecting my skin. So I'm gonna be using this like spatula here. And I am just applying that everywhere that is needed.
So now you guys, I am just gluing this onto my face, and you can use any adhesive. You can use spirit gum, latex, Prosade, even though I mean latex is not technically like an adhesive, but it works. Everybody uses it. And I personally am using a combination of Prosade and latex because this is a very heavy. You don't have to make yours as thick as I made mine, but just so you know, I did make mine really thick because I wanted that extra like curvature for the streams of lava and that extra texture and depth. So that's why I made it so thick, but you don't have to do that if you're not comfortable with that because it does take a really, really long time to dry, and you do have to hold that to your face so that it doesn't fall. So now, because we covered up all that red hot glue, which is fine, it's fine. You can just use normal hot glue, or you can be a little bit more careful than I was, but I am just using my Mayron Paradise face paint as well here, going in those lava streaks with that red. We are going to cover it with an orange also, but that line is going to be a little bit more precise. This red line is going to be a little bit thicker, so we have that dimension of the orange laying on top of the red, if that makes sense, just to have it pop out a little bit more. Okay, you guys, so now I am going in, just attaching that butterfly wing on, and I'm using a latex, it's just the easiest. For these butterfly wings, like I said, you guys, they're not very hard to make. Anyone can make them. They're just rather tedious, and you do need to get it pretty comfortable. So you might have to make like 2 or 3 before you find what fits your face for these, but they're very easy. And I was just waiting for that face paint to dry on those lava streaks. So now I'm going in more, filling in that orange a little bit more, any areas that I want more or didn't put any in the first place. I'm just going over that. And now I'm going to attach my second butterfly wing. For your neck and your chest, you guys, so it can be very, very tempting to just take the lines and try and like draw them down and connect them, like starting from under your chin, but try your best not to do that. Instead, what you want to do is you want to just look straight into your mirror. And I know that over here, I'm kind of covering myself with my mirror a little bit for you guys, and I'm really, really sorry, but just it's challenging to do a look like this without looking straight into the mirror. I really tried not to, but you just want to make that straight. So how you're going to do that is you're going to look straight into the mirror and see where the illusion of the end of your chin and your jaw touches your neck. So for me, that is like around here, right? So I am going to take that red and I'm going to connect those streaks from here and go down, so that when I'm looking forward and you see me straight on, you can see the connection. And from there, what you can do is you take this line, this starting point, and then you draw up the red like so, if you want. If not, no one's gonna be looking at the bottom of your chin unless you're really, really tall. So yeah, you don't have to worry too much about like this under area. But if you do want your lava streaks to connect like that, that is the good tip. And you can make as many or as little as you want. It's totally up to you. For your neck, you have some like a lot of wiggle room there. It's not super neat and clean because we're gonna go over with the black as well and kind of like clean it up, you know. So after you make those red lines, you can just go over with the black, and you can make those lines thinner if you wanted to. You can do anything that you want with your neck and the streaks. We're also going to go over with an orange as well on top of the red, just to have the same effect and add a little bit more dimension that we have up here. So just to make it pop, you know. Okay, so now it's time for the gold flakes, and here's the thing with gold flakes. If you have not worked with them before, just know that they are extremely fragile, and it can be rather frustrating if you're new to gold flakes and you're not really prepared for them to stick to everything, which they always end up doing. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna have two tools. One tool is for whatever adhesive you're using, whether that be eyelash glue, whether that be latex, whatever it is, and then another one that is separate for only gold. You can use your fingers, you can use tweezers, you can even use the bottom end of one of your brushes. That's no problem. Anything to pick up those gold flakes will totally work. But you'll notice I have one tool that's just for latex, which is the adhesive that I was using, and it never touched any of the actual gold flakes. I put these on pretty sporadically. The only thing that I wanted was to connect these to my forehead into the two lines in my nose over there, because I did want it to maybe look like kind of like eruption, but it's all connecting. You know what I mean? Just connected, just a good flow. Alright, you guys, so that is literally it. That is our Pele Goddess Special Effects Lava Princess look. I had so much fun filming this for you guys. I really love special effects, and it was really exciting to share a little bit of my culture with you guys. I really hope that you liked this video, and I have a ton of fun special effects stuff coming really, really soon for you guys, so stay tuned for that. If you did like this video and you feel like supporting me and my channel, you could give it a big thumbs up for me. You could also hit that big old subscribe button. It really does make a huge difference here on my channel. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye!